From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Hello everyone, welcome to OpenLine. I am Ben Hall. Tonight we are talking about the Supreme Court ruling and healthcare. The Affordable Care Act, after the Supreme Court ruling, is now fully intact. And we want to hear from you as far as where you stand with signing up and answer your questions about how you can sign up, what might be changing, what is not changing at all. Very happy to have with us Jackie Shrago and Mary Hunt. Thank you both for being with us.
We're delighted.
Thanks for having us.
You've been on many times. We're happy to be here. Okay, so what is kind of the takeaway? Supreme Court ruling came down. I know a lot of people were waiting for it. It could have had a huge impact on the whole thing. What do you take away from that?
You want to start?
Well, 150,000 around there Tennesseans get to keep the discounts, the subsidies that they've been receiving. So basically it's just great news. If you have coverage through the marketplace right now, you're going to be able to keep that coverage with your discount. Nothing's changing for you. And we're just hoping that, again, after this test, that trust in the system, in the Affordable Care Act, is just going to be reinforced and hopefully encourage more folks to sign up next time, next open enrollment.
What are some of the calls you're getting now? What are you seeing from callers, big questions, that kind of thing?
Well, mostly people are wondering, they're somehow just thinking about it. And the just thinking about it occurs often because of ordinary situations in their own life. So they've got a job or something changed about their job. They were in a employment situation where they were a temporary employee and now they're a full-time employee. Can they get coverage? Okay? Some people are saying, I think I'm going to go ahead and retire. What happens? I've got enough in my pension and whatever I'm going to get. What happens about insurance? And then, of course, you have the situation where somebody is getting married or having a baby or something is or getting a divorce. And all of those situations are ones that we deal with every day.
Where are we now as far as the number of people signing up? How are the numbers? Are we seeing more? Would you like to see more? Kind of where are we as far as the numbers?
Well, I think the numbers are much lower now. I mean, we can easily take appointments and work with people to be sure that we're figuring out what they need to do individually. So we don't have nearly as many people because it's not what we call open enrollment. It's beginning to work the way employer insurance works, which is that there's only really a regular time of the year in the fall when anybody can sign up no matter what their situation is. So if you don't have that, then the issue is, okay, so what's special about me that makes it possible for me to sign up now? The group that doesn't fit into that is, of course, the Medicaid population. If somebody thinks they're eligible for Medicaid, and we can help them figure that out, that is year-round. Okay, that never changes. It's open anytime somebody fits into a Medicaid situation.
So that's a big question you're getting.
Yes.
And the other big question that I know every time you come on is, I make too much, and I make they're in between. Right. The whole Insure Tennessee thing. Right. I know where we stand. The state hasn't passed that yet, but how often are you hearing those kind of concerns? And I guess kind of explain it for people who aren't sure where they fit yet.
Well, okay, so when the law originally passed, everybody was going to get covered. And the Supreme Court decided in 2012, in the first Supreme Court case, that each state would be able to decide this issue about this special group who didn't make quite enough money to get the discounts, but made too little to be, or didn't have the situation to be in Medicaid. All right? So we got this group of people that's in the gap. In Tennessee, it's about 280,000 people is the best estimate.
280,000 people.
Mm-hmm. 280,000 people. Okay, so the governor proposed a plan that went into the legislature last session and was not passed. But the governor hasn't given up, and an awful lot of other people haven't given up. And so there are a lot of town hall meetings beginning to go on around the state to talk to local legislators. Because the sense is, when all the polling's done, no matter where it's polled across the state, people think anybody should be able to get health care. You shouldn't have to just go to the emergency room, which of course is the most expensive care you can get. And most times it's not, and it doesn't need to be an emergency. So how can we avoid emergency rooms and instead get people care on an ongoing basis? so they can manage whatever's going on with their health care needs.
So 280,000 people are not covered. How many people have signed up? How many people are covered as a result of that in Tennessee, as a result of Affordable Care Act?
Well,
do we know? Would it be 150 or
Well,
something?
it's more like-
150 is 1,000 are the amount that are receiving the discounts that have signed up in Tennessee. So it's more than that. I think it's around 185 right now.
Something like that.
That have signed up and maintained their coverage.
So there are more people that fall through the cracks than actually have been able to sign up.
Yeah, but we've only signed up about 40% of the people who are eligible for the marketplace and eligible to get tax credits.
So there's still a lot of people out there that we need to reach this next open enrollment session. So we're trying to really get it out. A lot of people who haven't signed up yet are maybe folks who either they don't realize that they're eligible for the discounts and they still think that it's going to be too expensive, or they don't think they need health insurance, which is a lot of the younger, healthier folks. So that's who we're really trying to reach out to during this next open enrollment
And the
period.
other piece of that is that a lot of people are in changes in their situation. Nothing's static with most of us anymore, especially when you look at a 2, 3, 4 year period. A lot of things in most people's lives change during that. And so a lot of people who had insurance before with an employer, had Medicaid before, didn't have it before, all those different situations. Those are the people who haven't thought, oh, maybe I should check into, am I eligible for this now?
And people need to sign up because there will start being fines and that kind of thing, right? I mean, let's talk about that part of it too. So it sounds like 40% who are eligible have signed up, but that would mean 60% have not.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of people out there who
Several 100,000.
who either don't know or don't think they should, or what do you think is holding that 60% back?
Well, like Jackie said, maybe their situation is
Evolving, changing.
and maybe they have insurance with an employer and then they lose their insurance and it's not during an open enrollment period, like maybe it's right now, and they don't realize that there's special circumstances that can qualify them to sign up.
And so you think as well about all the people who get married, get divorced, or have a baby, okay, or adopt a child, okay, or have a foster child. Any of those circumstances make you eligible. You may not have had enough money previously, and now you do have a job, and the economy's improved. So when we started this, the economy was, a lot of people without work, and so we're now seeing a lot more people who are having regular jobs. Remember, the issue is if you make minimum wage and you get at least 27 hours a week, you probably qualify for a tax credit as a single person. So, we're in the borderline, and so we have a lot of people who are in that circumstance where, they might be one way, right under or right over it.
Right, we do have a lot because we hear that every time. So, what are the fines? We talk about the fines. When do those kick in? For that 60%, what do people need to know when we start talking about the other side of this? That if you don't sign up, there's a penalty. Right.
Well, the penalty is in a delayed period. Okay, it is actually assessed when you file your taxes. So you filed your taxes in April of this year, April of 2015. For the calendar year, 2014. So this was the first time people paid tax credits, paid a penalty. And if they were single, it was $95. If they were a couple, it was 2 times $95, or a minimum of 1% of their income. So now it's going to be 2% of their income for this year. So it gets to be more.
And did you see after, maybe there were people again that didn't realize they needed to sign up, and then they're assessed this penalty. Let's say it's a couple and they're assessed $200 or $180 or whatever it is, $200. Did you see this influx? Okay, I need to sign up. Did that motivate people, or do you think it's going to take even more of a penalty?
It's about 50. I mean, I think some people say, oh, well, $200, that's cheaper than insurance, maybe.
Right.
But hopefully whoever assisted them with their taxes let them know that next year it's going to double. And I think that really caught people's attention, and then we saw a lot of calls. And there was a special enrollment period this tax season for people in that exact situation who didn't realize that they were eligible until they had to pay the penalty. So we did sign up quite a few folks during that period.
We find a lot of people get awareness of this when they get their W-2 form in January.
Right.
And they begin to start filling it out, where they talk to an accountant or they do it over, you know, a software program or whatever. They begin to say, oh, they ask me on there, do I have insurance? Well, yes or no. And that's when you begin to say, oh, maybe I need to do this. I don't think we're finding so many people are resistant. It's more of, how do I go about it?
Right.
Which is the reason we are pleased to be on this program, because we can give you some phone numbers where you can call and find out about setting up an appointment and talking to somebody. The other thing we find is that people need individual assistance. It is not something that you can get a sort of a general view of this, even by listening to the answers we give from phone calls. It's very specific, and it's a lot of personal information. And on the air, we don't try and go into all those details with people. We do want to try and answer questions in general, but we really are available to take their call and meet with them individually wherever they are.
Well, and that's what we encourage for tonight. If you have a question, this is a great opportunity. Free advice right here. Free advice on your health care. So we'll take a break, but as we go to break, I'll throw out the number. If you're on the line, hold on. 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. If you want to get advice on health care as it stands now, give us a call. We'll be back right after this.